Hello there, good people. How's it going? My name is Marco. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you one activity, one resource that really helped me as a self-taught programmer. I've been using it for quite a while now, and it really helped me improve in the way I write and think about code. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Codewars. Some of you might not know it, but Codewars is a website that you can sign up to, and you can either compete with other programmers solving challenges or just train by yourself at solving these challenges. It varies on difficulty level and programming language, which, by the way, there are just a ton. I mean, from Python you have Go, Scala, Haskell, you have C if you're into that. I mean, there's just everything for everyone. Solving these small challenges is great for training your problem-solving skills, to think about code, to write code, etc. However, and this is a big however, Codewars, as other websites like it, are not meant to teach you code, nor any specific programming language. Mainly because, as a matter of fact, you're supposed to already know the language, even if at a rudimental level. What these websites are for is specifically problem solving, and if you had any experience with big or medium-sized project, you know that it involves many small challenges, many small problems that need to be solved. Consider it like droplets in the ocean. Now, personally, I love it. I think that the core concept is just brilliant, it's just great. I mean, think about it this way. If you want to run a marathon, you might want to consider training in smaller increments without just starting out with the full-on experience. These are the smaller steps. This video doesn't aim to give this website a score or judge it in any particular way. There's not going to be any comparison, mainly because I only ever used Codewars, so I'm not very familiar with other websites. Being something that I do on a weekly basis, I just wanted to share with you my thought process, my workflow, etc. for solving these small but, believe me, fun puzzles. Now for today, I will use JavaScript, and probably the next episode is going to be with Python, which are the only two programming languages that I know. I guess I know. Now, after all of this, let's go to war and start coding. Alright, so let's start from the Codewars dashboard, and as you can see, I've already given it some input just for the language for today, which is JavaScript, and the level of difficulty. As you might have guessed, the lower the score, the lower the Q, the harder the problem is. So probably it takes more time to solve. For now, I'm just gonna keep it simple. If things get too easy, I might just increase it a little bit. Oh, first of all, I just wanted to say my setup when I do these kind of things. And as usual, Codewars offer like a code editor, but I don't like to use theirs because it's very hard to debug sometimes, and there is no syntax highlighting. I like to use my own code editor. I usually use VS Code. Let's start. Complementary DNA. Well, okay, I guess. Oh, I've already done this. Train again. Nah, next kata then. I've already done this. It's checked for me. Replace all dots. Let's do this one then. Code provided is supposed to replace all the dots in the specified string with dashes, but it's not working properly. Nice. This is a bug. Okay, well, I like it. Let's train. It doesn't work. Okay, so I need just to do something here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, try again. Why doesn't that work? Seems to work fine for me. Let's try and test it. Let's see what it tells me. What? What is this? Oh no. does that even mean? Okay. Oh man, I already don't like this. I don't understand what the problem is. This is exactly how I would do it. How I would do it. Let's try it. Now global. Expect it to equal 1, 2, 3. What? This is what it got? Okay. Maybe I need to escape. That's what it is. I need to escape the dot. Yeah, okay. So right here, the dot in regular expression, it represents, I think it represents all characters. So basically what this function was going to do was basically replacing every character. And when I put the global in, I just had a full like dash, 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 because the globals just took everything. Now it's solved. Let's do the attempt. It works. Oh, well, one down. This wasn't. This was fun. The nice thing about Codewars is also this, because you can see other people's solution, and from them you might actually learn something that you didn't know, because everybody has their own way to solve a particular problem. I mean, when it comes to this very easy problem, I think there are not many solutions you can really think of, but when it comes to a more complex one, you might be surprised on how many solutions there are to just one problem. Let's try another kata. Triangle area. Well, looks fine. Let's try. Okay, so task. Calculate area of given triangle. Create a function tArea that will take a string which will represent triangle. Find area of the triangle. One space would be equal to one length unit. Huh? The smallest triangle will have one length unit. Ignore dots, of course. Example should return 2.0. So that is a string, and that is the area, and the area is I think is well, it's always going to be like the sides are always going to be the same. So I could just do the area of a square divided by 2, which is basically yes, base by height divided by 2. So I need to count the dots. I need to count those dots and then divide it by 2. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's 3 segments. So it's 3 by 3, which is 9, divided by 2 is 4.5. Okay, oh, that's fine. Let's train. Okay, so the string should be like this. And it goes on the opposite line. Well, anyway. Okay, what can I do here? So I always have a new line. This is a new line, this is a new line. So if I ignore the dots, what I need to consider is the new line here. This is gonna give me the height. And what is going to give me? Well, it's I don't know if it's always going to be like the two sides are always going to be the same, because if it is, I might just do it like this. For example, let's try like this. I'm gonna split it. So let's set the height is equal to this string dot split, and I'm gonna split it. I think this on a new line. And when I split it, I will have an array. So I want the length of this array, I guess, because if I split it here, this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This doesn't go on, no, this does go. Yep. So how many? Yeah, if I escape here, this is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's -1. So my height is going to be that. And then the formula, I can just say return, let's say height times height. Just put it in brackets, let's see if it works. Divided by 2. Let's see if this does it. Let's test it. And of course it didn't. Not a number. Okay, so let's copy and paste. So to debug, I always use the code editor. So let's see what we got here. Let's console log the height. Oh yeah, okay, I know the, okay, yeah, I know the error. Yep. Let's try and do that. Let's do it global. So it does it all the time. Let's test it. At least we got a number, I suppose. Okay, still not a number. This is interesting. Okay, let's try it. D area. This. Let's see what comes back. Okay. Not a number. This is very interesting because I'm splitting it on new lines. The split method should give me an array. This is not a number. Huh. Let's do it like this. Why not? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It returns an array with 4. Is this what I want? No. Why? Oh, because empty spaces like this. Okay, so I just do a filter here and I can say that I have the line. And the line I just want if I need to put it oh no line dot length is different from 0, I guess. And this should give me just the just the one with dots. So if I have 2, I have a 2 by 2. And now this should give me the length. Why doesn't it give it to me? Okay, now it does. Oh, maybe I spelled it wrong. Well, anyway, I got 2. Now it returns it. Let's console log this. Wow. So now this height is going to be 2 times 2, 4, divided by 2 is 2. But it is not, because it's -1. Yes, Marco, it's -1. Stupid. 0.5. Yeah, that's correct. All right, let's copy it back. Let's see if it works. Test it. Everything is green. Let's attempt it. Ooh. Okay, yeah. Okay, just to go back. So probably the first problem was that I spelled the length wrong. So was the TH. But basically what I'm doing here in this chain method, I'm splitting the string on a new line, on every new line. And I'm filtering because I don't want any line that is empty. Because when you split it, you might end up with empty spaces, and I don't want that. Then I'm taking the length of this array, because the filter method returns an array. So what I have here is an array with a certain length, and I want to do a -1. Now, this works because I am assuming the fact that all triangles are always going to be, like the two sides of the triangles are always going to be the same. I think it's called equilateral. But if I wasn't sure about that, I would have to, find a way to measure the base as well. So the second side at the bottom, which is not very complicated because the side at the bottom is just, it's on a line. So I would just count the dots that are there, or the spaces in between. So that would be basically the same. Let's submit. All right. Okay, yeah. He did -3 because of the empty spaces, which is basically the same thing. -3 as well. Well, okay. Good. Okay, let's find another one. Why not? Easy line over the road. Over the road. Yeah, why not? Let's read it first. You've just moved into a perfectly straight street with exactly n identical houses on either side of the road. Oh my god, this is mathematics. I always hate it. Naturally, you would like to find out the house number of the people on the other side of the street. The street looks something like this. 1, 6, 3, 4, okay. Evens increase on the right. Odds decrease. Decrease? Oh my, okay, yeah. On the left. House number starts at 1 and increase without gaps. When n equals 3, 1 is opposite 6, 3 opposite 4, and 5 opposite 2. Okay, this is a nightmare. Given your house number and length of street n, give the house number on the opposite side of the street. So if I give you my number and the length of the street is 3, the other side is 6. Okay, yeah, no. If you're timing out, running out of memory, or get any kind of error, both n and address could get up to 500 billion. Wow, with over 200 random tests. If you try to store the address of 500 in a list, then you will run out of memory, of course, and the test will crash. This is not a Cata problem, so please don't post an issue. Okay, yeah. So don't save it to memory. No, there must be a way to know it. So let's find out kind of a solution for this. So if I'm at 1, the other one is 6. If I'm at 3, the other one is 4. If I'm at 3, so basically the end, I have the smallest even number because it decreases. Okay, so let's start. I like this actually. Maybe no, just copy. Just do like this. Why not? Okay, so now if you give me n, it tells me basically how many houses I have, so the maximum number. So if you give me 6, if you give me 3, I just gotta do 3 times 2, so that is a no-brainer. and times 2. This is the number of houses. Now, I want to know the address on Front Street. 1 is 6. Wow. This is not very straightforward, isn't it? So if I have 1, in front I have 6. No, I don't have to store it, so I cannot do any array for the odd. I could actually do some base case. I cannot do filter. I know it's symmetrical. If I start with 1 and I have an odd number, even number of houses, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's do some base cases. Let's try if it's work like this. So if the address is equal to 1, we'll return houses, because it's always going to be the largest one at the end. So in this case I would have 6. If I had 8, that would be the first one. So, and it's always going to be, yes, an even number. Second base case, it could be if I have, how can I say, okay, if address is equal to houses minus 1, I'm gonna return address plus 1. So basically, no, not address plus 1, Marco. What are you doing? Okay, so the first case is if you give me the number 1, so the first house, the house in front of it is always going to be the highest even number. So basically the number of houses, they are going to be even. They're going to be even all the time. But if you give me the address of the last odd house, I'm wondering if you give me the address of the houses minus 1, so basically the largest odd number. So if you give me 5, in front you have the smallest even number. And the smallest even number is actually 1, it's actually 2. So yeah. Okay, these are the base cases, and this should work for the base cases. Now, let's see. Well, it works for the base cases, of course. Over the road, put 1, and I have 3. Let's see if... Okay, give me 6. But if I give you 5, which is the last house, it gives me 2. Okay, so the 2 base cases work. Now I need all the other cases. Now if you give me 3 in front of me, I will have the starting from, it must decrease. So it's basically the position. Oh, okay. It might actually be simpler than what I thought, because if I go to the second house, it's gonna be 3, so it's 1 plus 2. Basically what I have to do is 6 minus 2, which is gonna be 4. I wonder if it works for everything. Well, let's try. So I want to have a delta, which is going to be very interesting. Okay, I need to do the case if it's odd or even. So I do like this. If address modulo 2 is different from 0, so basically it's odd. What I can do now If it's odd, I just need to take the delta. Maybe I need to define outside so that everything can see. Yeah. So now I have a delta, and the delta is going to be equal to the address minus 1. No. Yes. Yes. Using for 3 minus 2, 5. I'm gonna be 4 down. So yeah, delta is address minus 1. So I'm going to return the houses minus delta. If I have a delta, so if I put house number 3, the delta would be 2. So 1, 2, 3. And so I need to subtract that from the houses. Houses are 6, or like that's the biggest even number minus the delta, so it's going to be 4. So if I put houses minus delta, 6 minus 4, yeah, it should work. Now, it's not odd, it's even. And if it's even, so I want to know in front of house number 4. House number 4 doesn't work. House number 4, let's do house number 2. If it's in front of house number 2, I need to, well, do the same thing, exactly the same thing. Get a delta, but this time I need to add it. So delta would be equal to houses minus the address. So in this case 2. And houses minus address is 4, 6 minus 2 is 4, and now I need to add to the other side. I just need to return 1 plus delta. I guess this should work. Why not? I mean, let's see. So in front of house number 4, there should be house number 3. Who knows? Oh, wow, it works. I mean, in this case, let's try other cases. Okay, 3, 5 is gonna be 8. It's supposed to be 8, is it? Yes. Wow. Well, you just need to test it. Let's see if it works. Let's test it. Okay, it passes this test. Wow, this is a very large number. Let's attempt. Oh, this is gonna be fun. And it did it. Wow. Well, I'm surprised. As you can see, there is no need to use arrays here. Now, one way to refactor it would be, I don't know if the implementation of base cases is actually the best solution. It might be sometimes, but in terms of, I was wondering, so if I put 1 here, delta is gonna be 0, and so houses, so this returns exactly the same thing. Yeah. This returns exactly the same thing. So I don't think we need base cases here. I can even get rid of it. Because if I go here with 1, the delta is going to be 0. So 1 minus 1. And the return value would be houses, which is 6, minus 0, which is 6. Exactly what I want. And in the other case, well, the other case is if I have 2. Let's put, if I have 6 minus 6, it's gonna be 0, so I'm just gonna return 1. So yeah, there's no need for base cases here. Now we have, well, let's attempt it again, if it works still. Yeah, it works, so no need for base cases. Well, we tried, I tried. Let's submit it, and let's see what other people did. This is the interesting part. Wow. This is impressive. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I like this solution. I actually like it. Which is somehow similar. N times 2 plus 1. So basically, if houses are 6 minus address, of course. Yeah, I like this solution. This is very concise. This is a little bit longer. Actually, it took me too much time. But yes, I mean, if you want to refactor this is an optimal solution. It's actually very simple, very readable. They did the same thing, yeah, did the same thing. All right, let's go on. I'd say we do, I don't know, a couple more. Why not? Highest and lowest. Which triangle is there? Is set or square? Find squares. Already done it. Highest and lowest. I don't know why, but there's something. 14,000. Well, highest and lowest. Let's do it. In this little assignment, you're given a string of space-separated numbers and have to return the highest and lowest number. Do we do it? All numbers are valid integer. No need to validate them. There will always be at least one number in the input string, so we don't have to check if it's empty. Output string must be 2 out. Okay, I need to output a string. Two numbers separated by a single space, and highest number is first. Yeah, why not? It doesn't seem very difficult, but I might complicate my life somewhere. Okay, so I have the string. I can actually do everything in one line if I want to. Do I want to? Because basically what I'm gonna do, I know they're separated by space, so I can split it. I can parse them with the map, and when I parse them, I can just check. I can just, what? How do I get the highest and the lowest? Well, I can initialize them like highest and lowest. Or it could be negative. But like this is undefined. Lowest. Now I can do it like this. Let find low. So I got numbers. I'm gonna split it. And to split it, I'm gonna use a regular expression. It's gonna be space like this. When I split them, I'm going to have an array. This array I'm gonna just do a map. For each map I'm gonna have each number. And for each number, I'm gonna parse it. No. Okay, yeah. I'm going to, oh well, actually I could do a filter. Nah. Let's do a map. So if num is greater, I need to parse it. Num is greater than highest, well then highest is equal to that. Else if parse in number, so the integer of the number is smaller than lowest, and then lowest is equal to parse int of that number. And since this will return, this will do something. Actually, I could do a for each. Is this, what does this return me? I have no idea. Let's try. Okay. Okay. Let's say that I return high-low. Let's see, what does it return? And let's input a string just because I want to. Okay, let's try. Undefined, 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 and undefined. This is fantastic. Probably because okay, yeah. I split it, I might put whatever. Probably because I'm not returning anything from this. No, doesn't work. Okay, so let's see what I can do. Well, this is very easy. I know there is a very easy solution, but the first time you do it is just a nightmare. High-low, numbers.split. Okay, well, let's back it up a notch. Let's just see what this returns. You should return what I want. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I could use the max function. These are all strings. I need to parse int. Who cares? This is not sorted. Oh wait, I could sort it. Nah, I have to convert every digit, every string in an integer, and then sort it. And then just take the first element and the last element. Nah, it's just, I don't think it's the most effective. It is a solution, but I don't think that's the one. I could do it though. I could actually do it. Let's do it like this. So the map this time is just gonna return the integer version of the number. So if I save it and I return, it returns basically a list of numbers. And over this, now this is sorted by itself, but it's not always going to be this. And now I can sort it. And to sort it, I need a function to sort it, but it's usually like this. Return a minus b. I cannot, so a minus b. It usually is like this. So let's try and see. I scramble it a little bit. 4. This is 2. Should return, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now that it's sorted, I basically take the first element. This is going to be the lowest. Do I really need to do this? Let's do it like this. No. High-low. First element, no, not really clear here. And then highest is equal high-low. And I don't, I could do high-low length. This should work. And then I just return highest plus lowest. Nah, highest, lowest plus this. This should return a string, I guess. Okay, it doesn't. I mean, it's a string, but I don't understand. -1 here? No. Oh, because this is the function, you idiot. High-low length is not defined, of course. One after the other. No problem. It's always 1. See, this thing is very easy, but I don't understand why it never works. Okay, let's console log the highest. Just just want to see if the numbers that comes out are actually, you know, what I want. Undefined, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I got the numbers that I want. Now, I could do it here. This is a way, I guess, to transform, to convert a number into a string. I think it works in JavaScript. Let's see if it works. Yeah, okay, so these two are strings. Now I want to return, yeah, what's the problem? Yeah, I could actually return, yeah, let's do it the complicated way, why not? Okay, this should work. I don't know if it's the most efficient way to solve this, but we can try. Okay, so it passes the basic test. Let's attempt it. Now, okay, it works. I'm not sure if it's the correct, actually I'm console logging still, and I don't want that. Now it works, but I'm not sure it's the best implementation, because right now I'm mapping over the array to convert every string in an integer, and then I'm sorting that array, and then I'm taking the first element, which is going to be the smallest, and the last element, which is going to be the highest. I don't know if this is the kind of most efficient solution in terms of time complexity, because I'm doing a map over the array, which is n, and then a sort, which I don't know how JavaScript implements, but it's not always the most efficient way. Well, I don't know. Let's see what other people did. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Oh, neat. This is nice. So basically it's doing the same thing. Well, it's not using a regular expression, but anyway, it's going to split the array, it's going to map over it and just turn every string to number, and then it's returning the max and the min. Yeah, exactly. That is kind of what I wanted to do. But as you can see, there are many ways to solve a problem. I don't think that my solution is the most efficient. Maybe this one is. It uses the math module. Is it good? Yes, I think it's fair enough. So let's see if we have time for another kata. Let's do with JavaScript as always. Okay, so here's formula. Wow. 9 issues reported. Maybe not. Presence. I am everywhere. Sort the vowels. All-star code challenges. Powers of I. Scaling square string. String ends with odd or even. Is that even a problem? Robinson Crusoe. English twist on Japanese classic. See these things? You can just, I don't know, spend an entire day behind this. An English twist. How green is my valley? Growth of a population. This is interesting. Let's see. You might actually learn something. So in a small town, the population is 1,000 at the beginning of a year. The population regularly increases by 2%, so 0.02 per year, and moreover, 50 new inhabitants per year come to live in the town. How many years does the town need to see its population greater or equal to 1,200 inhabitants? At the end of the first year, there will be, well, it's writing the formula right there. Well, okay. At the end of the first year, there will be 1,000 plus 2% of 1000 plus 50, which is at the end of the second year, blah, blah, blah. The third year, it will need 3 entire years. Okay. More generally, given parameters like, so initial population, the percentages, the percent of how much it increases, and AUG, what's that? What's AUG? Inhabitants, oh okay, inhabitants coming or leaving each year. Oh, there are some leaving. Interesting. P, population to surpass. The function MB year should return n number of entire years needed to get a population greater or equal to population. AUG is an integer, percent is a positive or no floating number, or if it's a no, it never grows, maybe just, well, P0 and P are positive integers. So this is the initial population, this is 5%, this is 100 each year, and this is how long it takes to reach 5,000 inhabitants, so 15 years. This is, don't forget to compare the percent parameters, the percentage, yeah, okay. It's basically telling me everything, so, but yeah, let's try, I like it. Alright, so, first of all, I want the formula. Should I, if it doesn't say if AUG, because it's a living, so this could be is an integer, but it could be positive or negative. So the formula is this. I mean, this plus is gonna count the same. If AUG is gonna be is negative, this is gonna be negative, but the formula works the same. So I just do it. I can do it in a while loop actually. Why not? Okay, first of all, let's convert the percent. He writes 5%. I want divided by 100 so that I have the real percentage. And then P is the population. So I don't want to change P0. So I'm just gonna update population. I'm just gonna update it like this. So basically update population now is the same number as P0, but what I'm gonna do is a while loop, and while update population is smaller than P, which is the target, you don't do it like this, you do it in brackets. Okay, so while the population is smaller than the target, I need to do the formula. So it's gonna be update population is equal, actually is plus equal. Update population is plus equal, so basically plus itself plus itself. I don't like this. You know what? Percent population, I'm just gonna do P0 times this. So it's plus equal the percentage of the population plus AUG. Okay. Now I need a counter. So how many times do I go through this loop? So I just say years equals 0. And every time I enter the loop, years plus plus. And I just return the years. This should work. I'm gonna test it in VS Code just to make sure. going to be, oh, I don't have the, in the year. Let's take an example from here. So 1500, 500, 5000. It should return 15 years. It returns 20. Well, this is fascinating. This is amazing, actually. Not getting something. I got 5, I got 100. Is it 100, right? Yeah. It's 15 years. Now, while update population is smaller, P, well, it takes 5 times. I mean, it takes 5 years more, and I don't understand why. Because let's do it like this. I always like to see, when I'm working with a loop, I always like to see what the loop is doing. So at first I'm gonna have 1500 and 4825. Okay. Something must be wrong. All right. Okay. Yeah, I get it. It doesn't grow by the initial population. It grows by like the actual population. So this is not correct. No, this is not correct. This is not correct because I need to, yeah, plus equal update population times percentage of the population. I'm gonna put it in brackets so that it can be executed like this. Because, because like this, I am going to have every time, because if I did it as I did the first time, so taking in account the initial population, the percentage is never going to change. The number is never going to change. So if I have 1,000, 10%, it's always going to be 100. But actually, the population increases by the percentage of the population, of the current population. So this is actually accumulated interest. So if the next year I have 1,200 people, now I don't have the 10% of 1,000 people, so the initial population, but I have 10% of 1,200, which is now 120. So that could be the problem here. Let's see if it works. Yes, okay, it was that. Right, I like it. I really liked it. There is a simpler way to do it, more efficient probably, but if it works, we'll just see it. So the basic test is gone, and well, it passed everything. Okay. So yeah, it's not that hard, this one. I mean, it needs a little bit of tweaking and a little bit here and there, but overall it's decent. Okay, so oh, this is a for loop. Yeah, you can also do it with a for loop, absolutely. And well, this is the same. Oh, he's updating the B0. See, this is something that I don't really like to do. I don't like to change inputs. I don't know why, probably because in Python it's not a best practice. I don't know if in JavaScript, because JavaScript has a very strong kind of, the scope is extremely important, and every variable is basically their scope. So there is no problem if you change it inside it. But I don't know, I just think it's a best practice to try not to change the input. So my solution was I created a new one copying the initial population, and I was basically changing that without touching the input I was given. But like this is fine anyway. So in the for loop it says, yeah, P0 is equal to P0, 1 plus. What's this 1 plus? Oh yeah, oh man, this is super clever. This is super clever, man. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah. Basically what it's saying is 1 is 100% plus the percentage. So it's increasing by 1, so 100%. So itself, it's not increasing, but I'm updating the population by itself. So 1 plus what I've done here, so plus equal, and then the percentage of the population. It says, no, just equal the population times 1, so itself, and then plus the percentage. It's the same thing. I think it's very clever. I'm just gonna say very clever. Deserved it. I don't even know if it worked, but it deserves it. And then please plus IUG, yeah, and return Y. Return Y? Yes. Amazing. It's basically not using a counter, it's using the counter of the for loop, and then it's returning it. This solution is extremely clever, and I like it. Upvote, absolutely. Alright, I hope that you had fun and could learn something in the meantime. Now, as you have seen, there is a lot of thinking, a lot of reasoning, backtracking, mumbling about, this is how I usually do it. One piece of advice in case you wanted to try something like this, or if you were currently stuck in one of the problems in your own project, is try to address the solution first. Only the solution. This comes from personal experience. Now, if you think about something else at the beginning, like time complexity, maybe you're not using the correct data structure, you don't like it. You can lose focus on the solution. As you have seen here, there are a lot of ways to solve a particular problem. What you want to do is just get to the solution, whichever that may be, as long as it works. Later, you can just take another good look at it and refactor. Maybe you didn't like this function, so you change it. Maybe you didn't like lists, so you want to use dictionaries. That's all fine, but first, get the solution that works. Because after all, it is extremely unlikely for anybody, even the most experienced one, to find the perfect implementation just the first time. Alright, so this being said, I really want to say thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you find this video helpful. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and I really hope to see you in the next video. As always, stay tuned for more. Bye bye.